Perfect. So we are recording now, and then I'm going to let our presenters introduce themselves. But as everybody's getting settled in, just to let you know, I will be monitoring the chat. So if any questions do come up while we're hearing the presentation, feel free to post them in the chat, and then I'll make sure that Christina and Colleen are both aware of those at the end. And on behalf of the CTLE, I just wanted to thank you for joining us. And with that, I'll turn it over to our speakers for today.
Well, welcome to our presentation on copying course content. My name is Colleen McElroy, and I am the lead learning designer here at St. Leo University. And with me today is...
Hello, Christina Hewitt, lead user experience specialist.
All right, so we'll get started. Before we get started in the hows of copying course content, we wanted to talk a little bit about how you would locate your course to copy content to or from. So on the course's homepage, which is the organization homepage for St. Leo, when you log in, you will see your courses pinned in the section that's kind of towards the left. And what courses show for you will depend on what access you have to each of those courses. So if you have courses pinned, they show at the top, and you see here the 3 courses that I have at the top are pinned, and you'll notice that the right next to all, there's a pinned selection, and that's what I have selected. But if you click to the arrow on the right side of that the My Courses, you can move through that navigation bar and you'll get to the semesters. And the semesters are listed in order of oldest to newest. So if you want something from 2021, you're going to have to keep clicking that arrow and go over until you reach the semesters for 2021. So if there's a course that you want to copy into or from that's in a different semester, then you can navigate through that bar to find the courses that you are looking for. So what's included automatically when you first get your course section there's already a few things already built in. Everyone will have a Start Here module. And if you are working in a campus course, these are the modules that you would typically see already copied into your course. So you might have a key assignments folder. If you have any chalk and wire assignments, there may be an assignment module for any global assignments that are coming into the courses, a student resources module, and then the emergency preparedness module. If you are copying into your online section, you would see modules 1 through 8 listed as well. So let's talk a little bit about why you would want to copy content into your section. So one of the biggest reasons that you would want to copy content into your section is to promote course design and usability. So oftentimes, if you are copying course content, this is content that you have already built. Maybe you spent a little extra time planning out, or that you've used before. So you've worked out some of the kinks already, or been able to emphasize directions for the student. If you copying course content helps you to prevent those technical errors or ADA violations when you're just making something on the fly. So remember that anything that you put into your course has to follow the ADA regulations that have been identified for all of your students. It also provides some consistency amongst your course sections, gives you a feeling of how your students are doing and what works for them and what you might what you need to adjust. And then it ultimately saves you time because you do not have to continue to remake each of the links or the items that you put into your section. So then let's focus on what to copy. So before we talk about what we want to copy, I want to make a note that you shouldn't delete any provided content, especially if you are working with an online section. So the content provided is what your department has determined needs to be in and provided for your section. So don't delete anything that's provided there. But you definitely can add content to augment either your face-to-face classroom or online experience. So if you know that you have students struggle with certain topics or content, maybe you want to add in some remedial material that is available to your students. Or you have those students that are excelling, really like to work ahead, they like to get extra content, you could add challenge material for them. Identifying or creating content online helps you to engage your students, so you can add material to keep that motivation going, either in the face-to-face classroom or online. And probably the most common reason or common materials that are copied are ones that are common topics or activities to help you promote consistency and ensure that functionality within your classroom. So is there anything that doesn't copy? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. So if you have created any badges or intelligence agents in your section, they can't be copied from section to section. That actually is a limitation of D2L. So it's not that we don't want you to, it's just that right now those are unable to be copied between sections. So you will have to set those up each time you do a new, in each of your new sections. So when should you copy? The key here is to wait until the content for your section has been populated. That standard content that we talked about at the beginning, you need to wait until after your course has been populated with that content from your course master before you add anything into your course section. So how do you know that that content is in your section? Well, one easy way is to look at the picture that is on your course section. So this is the default St. Leo University picture that will show in your course section, and it will be there before content is copied. It will be the default picture. Once content is copied into your picture, each of the departments have a picture that displays for their courses. But just to check, you'll notice that if you scroll past that picture, there are no modules in the course. And if you actually go into the content, you'll actually see there's no modules there. So a good guide is that we set the copy date for week 5 of the term prior to your section starting. So if you start looking in week 6, you should start seeing content to be populated within your course. It's very important that you wait, because if you copy something into your course before Christina's team has had the chance to populate your course, you will not get any of those standard content items. So, and then we'll have to delete what you've put in there, copy the standard items, and you're going to have to redo it again. So I'm going to hand it over to Christina, and she's going to talk about how to copy the content.
Okay, so you'll want to begin by going to your course tools tab there, highlighted on the screen. And well, Colleen, I think you have to move the slides for me, don't you? Yeah, there you go. And then click on the import, export, copy components. And with different levels of access, this screen might look a little different, but that's the link you want to click for your next step. And then you want to search for the offering. So you click on that button and search for your course. Now, you could either search by the name of it, or you could search by the term that you taught it last. It works like a regular search engine. And then you'll see that now in the course to copy is the name of the course that you're choosing. And you have one of two options here. You can either copy all contents. That means you're going to copy everything from the previous, from the one that you're pulling in. That does not include students or anything else like that, just the items in D2L. What we're highlighting here, though, is the Select Components button. And here you can choose which items you want to pull in. If you just want content items which belong in your modules, you click the content button or the content tab, number 1 there, and then select individual items to copy. Now, if you want additional items like discussions and the grade book and so on, you click those ones below and click continue. And here is the content. This is where you choose the content. So under student resources, it looks like Colleen has chosen to pull in all of those: introduction, motivation quiz, reading resources, review 1, and videos. But you see up above, under instructor guides, she just has chosen IGM1. She didn't choose test JW, which means only that first item will come in. And then click continue. And did you go next screen, Colleen? Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is where you're just going to confirm you've chosen 6 out of 122 items coming out of the other course, and we don't offset the dates because you've already set dates in your course. And then click finish. And it's going to have a little green dot whenever it's finished, or a green check mark whenever it's finished. When it's copying, it's going to have what looks like a barbershop pole. And then you'll see the green check mark. You can click view content and you'll see it in your course. There it is. There's the items that she brought in. Now, if you're pulling in just content items and you want it also to go on the grade items, that's an additional step. Not only grade items, but assignments and rubrics, surveys, those kinds of things. So you might have brought the actual content item in. So say your assignment 1 you chose to bring in. You also need to bring the assignment box, which is in the assignments tool. So on the left there, number 1, you'd have to choose that one. And then the grade item that goes with it, and then the rubric that goes with it, because some people don't realize not all of those are 3 separate items. So just because you brought the content item in doesn't mean the rubric and the grade item will come with it. You have to actually tell it to. So here is where you choose the actual grade item. You choose it and click continue. And there's your assignment box. You click which one you wanted to go with and then click continue. And the same as before, finish. And then again, it's going to look like a barbershop pole, and then it'll go green check mark whenever it's done. You click view content. And now you have that collection presentation in your grade book. You can also see that there's a little ribbon next to it. Actually, this is in the assignments tool, I apologize. This is the assignment box, and you can see the little ribbon, which means it's associated with a grade item. And there it is in the grade book. And you can see in the association column, the word assignments. That just means that this grade item is associated and linked to the assignment that we just looked at. Common mistakes.
All right. So let's go over some common mistakes that will cause issues when you are copying items. So the first one that we went over already is copying too early. So if you copy too early, you're going to end up having to redo your copying twice, because in order for the tool to put in your standard items, it has to be blank. Copying more than once. So if you think you have copied one time, before you go to recopy it, please reach out. And at the end of this, we're going to show you how to reach out, but you're going to be reaching out to Christina. So before you end up putting multiple copies of the item in there, if you think you've done it once, just go ahead and ask her. Not copying completely. So if you are trying to bring in a grade item, you have to bring in both the assignment folder or your quiz, the grade item in the grade book, and more than likely, if it's an assignment folder, a rubric. All three of those things have to be selected to come in. You can't just select one. Trying to copy from a course that you're not enrolled as an instructor. So you may be able to see some courses, but you are not enrolled as an instructor. So if you go into the class list inside, so check the course that you want to copy from before you attempt to copy courses, and you check that on the class list, and it will show you your status in that course. And then finally is copyright. So just because you put something in one section does not automatically mean you can take it across your sections. You have to make sure that the permissions for you to use that item are still available, and you're able to take it from one course to the next. The same thing though will happen between face-to-face and online. So just because you use something in a face-to-face course doesn't mean you can post it online for your online sections. If you have any questions about that, you can feel free to reach out as well. And I believe there is a copyright basecamp coming up later in March. But before you throw your hands up and say that you don't want to copy anything, help is on the way.
So in your instructor resources module, there's a link called request help with courses. This link comes directly to me. I may not be the one to respond to you, but it comes to me and I may assign it to one of my team members. So you click on the link and fill out this form here. It's really easy. Really all you have to do is tell me what's going on. My grade book isn't syncing. I don't see all of my content, anything like that. And you can send me screenshots by clicking and dragging the files here, the screenshot of the file of the screenshot. And then your email is automatically populated there. So I know who you are, I know which course you're coming from. But if you do that, please be sure to click the link in the course that's having the problem, not in a different section. And then you can choose to have a copy of your responses sent directly to you. I try to respond to them within 24 hours. So, sorry, Colleen.
That's all right. All right. So our presentation wasn't going to take quite an hour today, so we're going to give you back some of your time, but we wanted to open it up for questions.
I have a question.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So Christine, can you go back to the step-by-step? Because I was trying to follow along with you and somewhere, I don't know what I did. I look like Colleen throwing all this stuff up in the air on my computer and everything. Okay, keep on going. Okay, so there. So I did search offering, and this is where I want to copy it from correctly, right? Correct.
Right.
Okay.
And I think, Judy, I think you and I have talked before about the course ID. You can see up in the top in your URL there, where it says stleod.brightspace.com. Your course ID is up there. You see the 121637?
Okay. All right.
That's the course she's in right now. That will work, but some people don't know where to find that. So typing out your code ABC123 will work as well.
That's good to know. That's a good tip. Okay, so I open the course, add to selected, and then what's the next step? Because I think this is where select component. Okay.
Yep. Select your components.
And then I get a message, this selected whatever had some elements copied into this course URL.
Oh, yes, that's okay. Well, actually, it may be okay. It may not. That might be your trigger that says, you've already copied this stuff. Are you sure you want to copy it again?
But I haven't chose which one I want to copy yet. So how does it know?
Because you've copied already some items from that particular course.
Okay.
So if Colleen were to go back to the one screen that has all of the course copy history, Colleen, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When you first go in?
I'll get there. It's actually back here, but I'll get there quickly.
Right there. So see how she's, there's 3 lines there. Essentially what that's saying is you've copied stuff from that same master before. Are you sure you want to copy more? It's preventing you from copying stuff twice, essentially. So last time you copied discussions and now you want to copy assignments. So you're going to say, okay, that's fine. Click next.
Okay. All right. So I'll say yes. And then the next step looks different than mine, looks different than yours.
And it may, because you might not have any external learning tools. You might not have all of those items. Yours doesn't look like this?
No, it looks like, what if I can, it says component at the top. It doesn't look like, this looks like a outline. Mine looks like just a listing with a view detail on the right-hand side. And when I choose view detail, it says there's nothing in there, which I know is not the case because I'm currently teaching the course right now and I have things in assignments. So
it's up to you guys. Judy can share her screen and I can see what's going on, or we can choose to, she and I can get together later and talk about it. This might be beneficial for somebody who might be having the same problem though. So Judy, if you want to share your screen.
I can do that. That's fine. I can help.
Have you tried scrolling down, Judy? Because there is one point where it shows one section and then the selection part is down below. When you're doing it. So I wonder if you scroll down further that you would see what she's seeing.
I think yes. Thank you, Greg. I think you saw.
I can't picture it. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah. Because when I first started doing it, I ran into it. I was like, we can't select this. And then I'm like, wait a minute, you just got to scroll far enough. And then it has those boxes to actually check.
See,
why D2L did that, I don't know.
Okay, so for example, so if I wanted to copy an assignment, it says I've got 30 items in there. So if I choose assignments, will it go to and say,
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to copy all, select individual. And then when I go to next, it'll let me know which ones.
Right. Then after you say next or continue, it'll, there you go, like that. It'll say which ones you want to.
Aha, aha. Okay, that's good. All right. Okay, I think I can figure it out from there. If not, I can always get with Christine.
Yes.
Other questions. So in the past, we have basically been told that if we want to, add new material, that what we should do is copy it over to the master so that it comes in when you guys copy the whole course.
So the key with that is it would only be items that would go out to everyone. So everything in the master is going out to everyone's section, and we have one master for all of the on ground get one master, all the online get a second master. So we can't put individual faculty content in the master. But if you had in your sandbox, what I might recommend is that if you divide your sandbox into the different courses that you typically teach, put your items in, make a module for each of your courses in your sandbox. Then when you're going to copy the items, it will be grouped by your courses, and you can import all the items that way. If you want to share items amongst the faculty, that you can
Copy it
that way too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the best way would be to create a course in my sandboxes, and then I could just copy them over that way.
So you create a module in your sandbox, right? And then for each of your courses, and then put all of the items for that course in the module.
Okay. Makes sense.
Because if you, at the page that I have here, this is my sandbox that I was copying from. So in my sandbox, I have a module called Instructor Guide. I have a module called Intro Pages, Reading Pages, and Student Resources and Tests. Those are and HTML. These columns that can expand are the modules that are inside my course content, inside my course. And so if you have a module that's called, MBA 570, then it would be easier to select items to bulk move into that course.
Okay, that makes sense. Or, if not, then what could happen, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that when my course gets copied over, after that, I could just copy the stuff I had from last semester the additional stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, so either way. Okay, that helps.
Any other questions, Melissa?
Not seeing any in the chat, but if anyone else has any questions, you're welcome to unmute your mics, or of course type in the chat and we can address them. Okay. Perfect. Well, in that case, Colleen and Christina, thank you so much. And Judy, thank you for your questions too. I'm sure that's really beneficial for everyone to hear. And with the copying of content, really the goal is to make sure that you can save a little bit of time and that you're not having to recreate what you've already used that you know works and is effective. So it's a really great feature, and it will save you quite a bit of time and make things a little easier. So if there are no other questions, I think I'm going to actually turn this over to Karen from our team, and she's got a little bit of information for you to wrap up our base camp here.
Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, so quick and easy. I am about to put a link in the chat. It's there now. If you would, please complete the survey that we have available for you. It's only a few questions long. Just if you would, just go in and just give us some feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then just as a reminder, this will be posted if you would like to go back in and review it at a later time. And of course, you're welcome to reach out to Colleen or Christina or anyone on our team for any questions about copying content. Thank you all so much for joining us, and I hope to see you in a future Basecamp.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.